Hey moms, this video is for you. I know you put your kids first. You make sure their lunch is packed, they're out the door on time, they've got clean clothes on, you're getting them to band and sports and swimming lessons, and you're working your butt off for your kids. And I know how important that is as a father myself. And at the same time, I know you might be worn down. You might be struggling with sleep and have low energy. You might be feeling anxious and nervous. You might have this tension that we see creeping into so many moms where it goes between the shoulder blades, across their shoulders, into their neck, and maybe it's leading to headaches or migraines. And you're kind of run down because you're putting your kids first and you're saying, I'll get to myself at some point. Or maybe you've talked to your doctor about it and they said, it's just kind of the way things are going to be for you. Maybe you've been told you have to live with it. And maybe it's because your thyroid's off, so your hormones are a mess. Or you feel, oh, my adrenals are just so worn down, they're fatigued, that's why I don't have any energy and I can't get it back. And you say, well, I'll just settle for some sleep meds or some anxiety meds and get through the day the best I can. I want you to know there's hope. We've worked with so many families. Oftentimes when people come to see us, it's maybe mom bringing their kid in for us because we're a family practice and the kids are the first priority. And we start to talk to these moms and we say, well, how about you? Have you ever thought about yourself getting some help and getting back on track and feeling better? And they say, nah, I'm going to worry about my kids. And then eventually they start to open up. I remember one mom whose two daughters were under care, and finally she goes, you know what? I've seen good changes with them. I gotta get myself in. And right away she noticed feeling less anxious, less nervous. She said her moods were better. So all of a sudden she's happier at home. She's happier interacting with her kids and her husband. And she's like, believe it or not, I'm getting more energy, so I'm actually getting more done around the house than I used to. And the amazing thing about putting yourself first at a certain point is that when you put yourself first, not only do you fill your own bucket so you can provide more for your family and your kids, but guess what? Your kiddos are also looking at you. They're observing you. And I know my son, he's always watching and he's mimicking and he's imitating. And if your kids see you put yourself first, if they see you start to handle stress better instead of being maybe a little short-tempered, a little more quick than you want to be, guess what? It reflects on them as well. So I want to share with you 3 things that you can be doing that are nice and easy, because I know your schedule is already full, to help yourself. Number 1, of course, is what we specialize in our office, is helping your nervous system release some of that built up stress and that pent up stress. And that's the power of the neurologically based chiropractic that we do in our office. And here's the cool thing. The adjustments that we give, they only take a few minutes, and they're kind of like yoga on steroids, because you might be thinking of this list that you should be doing, right? And you're in the pickup line and you're thinking, I should be getting to yoga class right now. Or you're managing this group text of who's arranging the food for the next class field trip, and you're thinking, I could really use half an hour of meditation right now. And after my yoga class and my meditation, I probably should be drinking that nice green smoothie of fruits and vegetables I grew in my backyard, because then I know what's in the soil and it's going to be great. Those things are great on Instagram posts and blogs you might read about, but I know you don't have time for that. So what we specialize in our office is providing you something really short that has really big impact. And that's the power of the adjustment in relieving stress. We see, as in that mom that I just shared, as that stress had been built up in her body, she was compensating for it. It was wearing on her energy. It was wearing on her mood, causing her to be tight and anxious. When we clear that out, now she could open up and she could be more productive, more relaxed, starting to feel better. And it only takes a few minutes for each adjustment. By releasing that old stress, suddenly you can get the things done that you want to get done, and you start to feel more empowered for your own health. If we release stress here and maybe your head's feeling better, you're able to think more clearly during the day. In this lower neck, the nerves there actually go to the thyroid, so they're key for hormonal balance. Nerves in the low back go to the adrenals to help get them back online and start to fill the energy. The nerves down low also go to the gut to help with digestion and motility and movement. So there's lots of side benefits that come along with neurologically based chiropractic. Number 2, of course, is exercise and movement. There was a neurology instructor that I've taken a lot of classes with. He said, actually, the most important thing for our brain is socializing. The second most important thing, he ranked even above nutrition, was actually movement. And here again, I'm not saying you got to get to the gym for an hour every day, but short little spurts. There's times for myself, if I only have 5 minutes, maybe I'll do some body weight exercises or some squats or jumping jacks or burpees, something simple, but it gets my body moving, it gets my heart going, it gets my breathing up, and it helps clear out some of that stress hormones. So even if you only have 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, but you can do a little bit each day, that really starts to add up. So don't feel like you have to be perfect and sign up for consistent classes at yoga or at Orange Theory or wherever you like to go. Know that a few minutes at a time pays big dividends. And then the third piece is actually a reflection that my wife had shared with me. There was a time when my son was a toddler and we'd put him to bed at night and she would say like, finally, I get part of the day for myself. And by that time in the day, she was pretty tired. And so she said, well, the easiest thing to do is rewind or relax with some Netflix. And she'd watch some Netflix on her phone and it caused her to stay up a little bit later than she wanted to. It also revved her brain up, so now when she did go to bed, she didn't fall asleep as quickly as she wanted to, and she didn't get as deep sleep at night. What that led into now the next day is not being able to get up as early, waking up a little more groggy, a little more tired, and it started to create this cycle. Finally, she said, I've had enough. She deleted Netflix from her phone, and guess what she did at night instead? She actually loves to read, so she found a good book. And doing some reading at night allowed her brain to start to calm down. She naturally fell asleep a little bit earlier. She got deeper sleep. And the cool thing was now she was waking up earlier in the morning and she could do some yoga. She could do some meditation, things that really fill her bucket up. And she could do them at a time of day after a good night's sleep now that allowed the rest of the day to go easier rather than trying to fit them in over the lunch hour or at the end of the day when she was tired and exhausted. So find your end of the day routine that helps you get deeper sleep, get better sleep, and know that, you might really want to unwind with some Netflix, but is there something that can pay dividends and carry into the next day? So all in all, we love to help moms just as much as we love to help kids because we know you're the backbone, the key for so many families out there. So if this is something that resonates with you, feel free to take a look at our other blogs, our other posts, and go deeper. Or if you just want to reach out and say, hey, it's my turn. I'd love to get scanned, see if there is tension built up in my system that you can help with. Let us know, and we're here for you. I'll see you soon.